Have you ever wondered why some people grow up and become rich, while others with the same education and background stay broke? In Rich Dad, Poor Dad, author Robert Kiyosaki shares the story of his two dads. One is his real father, highly educated, hardworking, and respected, but always struggling with money. The other is his best friend's dad, a businessman with little formal education, yet financially successful. Robert calls them his poor dad and rich dad. These two men had very different views about money, work, and life. Poor dad believed in going to school, getting good grades, and finding a secure job. Rich dad believed in learning how money works, building assets, and making money work for you. This book is not just about making money. It's about building a mindset that helps you escape the rat race, understand how wealth is really built, and take control of your financial future. In the chapters ahead, you'll discover the core habits, tools, and beliefs that separate the rich from the poor, and why financial education matters more today than ever before. So let's begin this journey of financial transformation. Chapter 1. The rich don't work for money. Most people believe the way to earn money is simple. Get a job, work hard, and climb the ladder. But in this chapter, Robert Kiyosaki challenges that belief. As a young boy, Robert asked both of his dads how to get rich. His poor dad said, "Go to school, study hard, and find a good job." But his rich dad had a different answer. The rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. What does that mean? Rich dad explained that working only for a paycheck often traps people in a loop: earn, spend, repeat. The rich think differently. They build assets that earn income even while they sleep. They focus on learning, spotting opportunities, and using money as a tool. Instead of letting fear and desire drive their decisions, they develop financial intelligence, the ability to think clearly about money, even in tough situations. This mindset shift is just the beginning, because here's the big question. If the rich don't work for money, then what do they focus on? The answer lies in the next chapter. We'll explore what schools never taught us, the real difference between assets and liabilities, and why that knowledge can change your financial life forever. Chapter 2. Why teach financial literacy? Most people think the key to wealth is earning more money. But Robert explains it's not how much money you make. It's how much you keep and how you use it. Rich dad believed that financial education is more important than just earning a high income. Why? Because if you don't know the difference between an asset and a liability, you could be working all your life and still end up broke. So what's an asset? An asset puts money into your pocket, like rental properties, stocks, or a business. A liability takes money out of your pocket, like a big house with a mortgage or a car loan. Here's the shocker. Many people think they're buying assets, but they're actually collecting liabilities that drain their income. That's why Rich Dad focused on building a strong asset column, to create income that doesn't depend on a job. And this leads us to a crucial mindset shift. Because once you know how to spot and grow assets, you start escaping the paycheck-to-paycheck trap. In the next chapter, we'll take this idea even further. Chapter 3. Mind your own business. In this chapter, Robert Kiyosaki delivers a powerful message. Don't just work for someone else's business. Build your own. Now, that doesn't mean you need to quit your job tomorrow. What it means is this: while you're working your 9 to 5, you should also be growing your asset column in the background. That's your real business. Rich Dad taught Robert to focus on what truly builds wealth: investments, income-generating assets, and ownership. Most people spend their lives working to make other people rich, their bosses, their landlords, their creditors. But the rich spend their time building something of their own. And that's the real key. Your job is your short-term income. Your assets are your long-term freedom. So start tracking your personal finances like a business. Look at where your money goes. Is it growing your assets or just paying bills? Financial independence begins when you start treating your personal financial life like a business, because no one else will do it for you. And speaking of business, in the next chapter, we'll uncover how the wealthy use the system to legally protect and multiply their money. It's not just about earning. It's about knowing the rules of the game. Chapter 4. The history of taxes and the power of corporations. In this chapter, Robert Kiyosaki uncovers something most schools never teach: how the wealthy use corporations and tax laws to protect and grow their money. Let's break it down. For most employees, the formula looks like this: earn, get taxed, spend what's left. But for the rich, it's different. Earn to spend through a corporation, pay taxes on what's left. This small shift changes everything. Corporations aren't just for big businesses. They're legal tools that allow people to deduct expenses before paying taxes, things like travel, education, equipment, and more, if used for business purposes. Rich Dad believed it's not enough to work hard for money. You also need to understand how money is taxed and how to use the system to your advantage. He taught Robert that governments reward those who create jobs and invest in the economy, and corporations are often the vehicle for that. The real takeaway: the rich don't avoid taxes, they understand them. They use knowledge and structure to stay ahead. In the next chapter, we'll explore how the wealthy don't just wait for opportunities. They create them. They think creatively, move fast, and use their financial intelligence to turn ideas into income. Let's unlock that mindset next. Chapter 5. The Rich Invent Money. In this chapter, Robert Kiyosaki shares one of the boldest ideas in the book. Wealth isn't about having money, it's about having ideas. Rich people don't wait for the right time or a perfect opportunity to show up. They create opportunities. They invent money by using what they know, seeing what others miss, and taking action when others hesitate. It's not about luck, it's about mindset. Robert explains that the world is full of opportunities, but most people don't see them because they're trapped by fear, self-doubt, or a lack of financial education. Rich Dad taught that once you grow your financial intelligence, your ability to solve problems, take risks wisely, and spot value, you'll start seeing chances to build wealth everywhere. In fact, your mind is your greatest asset. And like any asset, it needs to be trained, challenged, and pushed beyond your comfort zone. So, the question is, are you using your mind to grow your money or just to earn a paycheck? And now we take this idea one step further. In the next chapter, we'll learn why rich people prioritize skills over salaries and how learning across fields gives them the edge. Stay tuned. This next lesson could change the way you see your career forever. Chapter 6. Work to learn, don't work for money. In this chapter, Robert Kiyosaki reveals a major mindset shift. Don't chase money, chase skills. Most people choose jobs for security or salary. But Rich Dad taught Robert to look deeper. The wealthy don't just work for a paycheck. They work to learn. Why? Because every skill you build adds value. It's not about being the best at one thing, it's about becoming well-rounded. Sales, marketing, communication, investing, negotiation. These are the skills that lead to freedom. Robert shares how he once took a low-paying job just to learn how to sell, even though it had nothing to do with his background. That skill ended up helping him grow his businesses and income more than any formal education ever did. The real lesson? Job security is temporary. Skills are forever. If you only work for money, you're stuck in a cycle. But if you work to learn, you're preparing to own your future. So ask yourself, are you getting paid or are you growing? And in the next chapter, we'll face the real enemies of financial success: fear, doubt, laziness, and arrogance, and how the rich conquer them. Because mindset isn't everything, but it's where everything begins. Chapter 7. Overcoming Obstacles. By this point in the book, you know what separates the rich from the poor. It's not just money. It's mindset, education, and the ability to take action. But in Chapter 7, Robert Kiyosaki explains that even with knowledge and opportunity, many people still don't become rich. Why? Because of 5 major obstacles: fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and arrogance. Let's break that down. Fear keeps people stuck in safe jobs and away from investments. Cynicism causes people to doubt every opportunity. Laziness often hides behind being busy. Bad habits like overspending kill wealth before it grows. And arrogance, the belief that you already know enough, stops learning dead in its tracks. Rich Dad taught Robert to face these obstacles head-on, not avoid them. Wealthy people still feel fear and doubt. They just don't let it stop them. They train their minds to act despite fear, to ask better questions, and to keep learning. The real difference? Courage plus financial intelligence equals power. And now that you understand the mental blocks, it's time to take your first step toward financial independence. In the next chapter, Robert lays out exactly how to begin your wealth journey, one decision at a time. Let's move from mindset to action. Chapter 8. Getting started. By now, you've learned the mindset of the rich, the power of financial education, and the obstacles that hold most people back. So what's next? Action. In Chapter 8, Robert Kiyosaki gives us a simple yet powerful roadmap to begin building wealth. He calls it Getting Started, and it's all about turning ideas into results. Here are some key takeaways. 1. Find a reason bigger than money. What drives you? Freedom? Security for your family? That motivation will keep you going when it gets hard. 2. Pick one area of learning. Don't try to master everything. Start small: real estate, stocks, business, and go deep. 3. Choose mentors, not opinions. Learn from people who've done it, not just those who talk about it. 4. Start taking action. Read, attend seminars, make small investments, track your progress. Every step counts. 5. Build daily habits. Wealth isn't built overnight. It grows with consistent learning, smart risk-taking, and accountability. Rich Dad always said, "You don't need to be rich to start, but you need to start to become rich." Chapter 9. Still want more? Here are some to-dos. You've got the mindset. You've seen the roadmap. Now, Robert Kiyosaki gives you a real-world action plan. This chapter is like a personal checklist, a set of to-dos for anyone ready to take control of their financial future. Here's what Rich Dad would recommend. 1. Stop doing what's not working. If you're always broke at the end of the month, it's time to change the system, not just work harder. 2. Start buying education, not just entertainment. Read books, attend workshops, listen to audiobooks like this one. Build your financial IQ. 3. Look for heroes. Study successful investors, business owners, and financially free individuals. Learn how they think, not just what they do. 4. Pay yourself first. Even if it's a small amount, set aside money to invest and don't break the habit. 5. Look for deals, not jobs. Train yourself to spot opportunities. Whether it's real estate, stocks, or a side hustle, look for assets that earn money for you. 6. Take action. No amount of reading will help if you don't apply what you've learned. This isn't about becoming a millionaire overnight. It's about becoming someone who thinks and acts like the rich, one step at a time. And finally, we move to the conclusion of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. A reminder of what it's really all about: financial education, freedom, and the power to design your life. Let's wrap it up next. Conclusion: the importance of financial education. As Rich Dad, Poor Dad comes to a close, Robert Kiyosaki leaves us with one final, lasting message. It's not how much money you make, it's how much you keep, and how hard that money works for you. The real wealth isn't measured by your income, it's measured by your financial freedom. Rich Dad always emphasized that the world has changed. Job security is not what it used to be. Pensions are disappearing, and depending on one source of income is risky. If you want to thrive in this new world, you need one thing above all: financial education. Not the kind taught in schools, but the kind that teaches you how money really works, how to build and grow assets, how to manage risk, how to think like an investor, not just a worker. Poor Dad told Robert to get a safe job. Rich Dad taught him to build systems, own assets, and create freedom. This book wasn't written to give you all the answers. It was written to wake you up and help you ask better questions. So now the question is yours. Will you keep working for money? Or will you learn to make money work for you? Because the journey doesn't end here, it starts now. Now it's your turn. If you've listened till now, it means you're a true book lover and excited to learn. Score high in the book summary self-assessment quiz and become a top ranker. Quiz link is available on the screen and in the description. Complete the quiz, earn your self-assessment certificate, share your score in the comments, and show your friends how great your listening and understanding skills are in this Instagram age. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel to support us in this mission. Thank you.